Mr. Boris. How are you doing?
By the grace of God. By the
Good.
grace of God. We are
Excellent.
happy as usual to have you in the program. We know that you'll bring information. Don't be going through a time of concern with the weathers. But,
Mhm.
but we are hoping, as soon as they reckon, freeze me, we are hoping for the best, as the case may be. So, Dr. Batson, the floor is yours. Bring us up to date.
Good, 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 good. So let me say, of course, a pleasant good afternoon to the listeners of Synergy TV. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where our job is to ensure that we take care of yourself naturally. One of the things I often tell persons, there's something I always say, and that point is, I often tell persons, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. And today we're going to touch on that a bit because, we know there's a financial consequence to everything. The shoes that you have on your foot, somebody paid for that. The socks you're wearing, the haircut that you have to go and take next week, or the haircut you took this week, the fuel that you put in your car, whatever the case may be, there is a financial consequence for everything. Now, with that being said, you find a lot of persons sometimes don't really pay attention to their health until the health is taken away from them. Because we're busy, you have family, you have jobs, we have a lot of traffic. So it is as if it is you're living in a world where you have a limited amount of time to do so much. And as a result of that, people often neglect their health. So the message that I'm sharing this afternoon is simply this. Your body is a gift that was given to you. I mean, yeah, there's no better gift as regards to the human body. I mean, just the circulatory system, the eyesight. And the thing is, what we need to do is really practice proactive health. And that's one of the things we do at Batson and Associates, where we help our clients to be proactive as opposed to being reactive. Now, we could always also deal with a situation where we are actually correcting a problem that you may bring to us. So you might have a problem with diabetes. You come to Batson and Associates, and we do run an integrative health clinic. In fact, all the diseases or all the issues that persons have, we run an integrative clinic where that is concerned. So you have problems with your prostate, we can address that from an integrative perspective. You have problems with high blood pressure, we can address that from an integrated perspective. You have problems with circulation, we could deal with that as well. So today I'm going to touch on two things primarily, and one of the things is circulation. And the reason why I'm touching on circulation is because a number of persons have issues with poor circulation, especially as it relates to circulation in the cerebral hemisphere. What does that mean? So the thing is, you have two types of circulation. Pulmonary circulation is above the heart, and systemic circulation is below your heart. So what we're going to discuss today is, how does someone know they have poor pulmonary circulation? So how do you know? Are there identifying markers? Does the body tell you when you have a poor pulmonary circulation or poor cerebral vessel circulation? And the answer is yes. So let me give you an example. If all of a sudden you're getting problems with your eyesight, so you're experiencing blurred vision. Now, the eyes don't have to be blurred all the time, but it's blurred intermittently. So you might find maybe when you get up in the morning, your eyesight is blurred. You find driving at night now, you're not seeing, and we know driving at night is very difficult because of the lights and that type of thing. But what you find with persons who have poor cerebral blood vessel circulation or poor circulation in the brain is that your eyes usually tells you first. How so? You will experience problems with blurred vision. That's one. You would experience issues associated with dizziness. So you might be sitting down and all of a sudden you find your head is spinning or the room is spinning. You might be walking, God forbid, somewhere in Port of Spain or somewhere you're walking, and all of a sudden you get this dizzy feeling. And then when you wake up, you're either on the ground or you're in a hospital. Those are indications of poor cerebral blood vessel circulation. Another telltale sign is headaches, or are headaches rather. Now, you have different classifications of headaches. You have migraine headaches, you also have cluster headaches, and a number of others. A lot of the times when you have problems with headaches, it is a clear indicator of lack of proper blood flow to the brain. There's a diagnosis known as vertigo. And vertigo is a condition where you have problems with extreme dizziness, lightheadedness. And most of the time, when you go to the doctor, they would recommend a particular medication regime to address that. Now, from the perspective of Batson and Associates, what we actually do is now address that poor circulation issue. And how do we do that? By actually identifying and assisting the body to improve the circulation to the brain. That's very, very, very important. One of the also, or one, sorry, of the telltale signs as well of poor circulation to the brain is stroke. There's a condition known as a TIA, which is an acronym for transient ischemic attacks. Now, when we speak about strokes, there are primarily two types of strokes that an individual could suffer. You could either suffer an ischemic stroke or what is known as a hemorrhagic stroke. Now, what is the difference? So, an ischemic stroke is suffered when you have a lack of blood flow to the brain. And as a result of having a lack of blood flow, you have a lack of oxygen and nutrients, whether it's hormones, enzymes, whatever the case, that is not getting to the brain. So, when an individual experiences that, you are said to have an ischemic stroke. Or in some cases, you are said to experience a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack. Now, you can only know you have a transient ischemic attack when you do either an MRI, or you could do the magnetic resonance analysis that we do at Batson and Associates, or you do a CT of the brain. And in those instances, it's going to highlight that you're not getting sufficient blood flow to the brain. Now, think about this. Imagine, we could use the analogy, it's like a river. So the thing is, if you, let's say you're dealing with crops, you have a garden, and you would have different channels leading to water different parts of the garden. If those channels are blocked, what eventually happens? The crop's going to die. So when you do not have sufficient blood flow going to all parts of the brain consistently, it means that the parts of the brains or cells in the brains are going to eventually die. Just like those crops that have the water source cut off or getting inadequate water supply, those crops will eventually die. The exact same thing happens to the cells in the brain. And that is why you find people who get strokes. So we know when you get a stroke. So for example, if you get a stroke on the right side of the brain, it affects which side of the body? The left side. And if you get a stroke on the left side of the brain, it affects which side of the body? The right side. Good. So depending on which part of the brain is affected, depending on which part of the brain does not get sufficient oxygen, you can actually suffer a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack. One of the things that I want you guys to pay attention to, and we have the telephone number coming up there. You could give us a call, give us a visit, is you often find that any stroke an individual gets, especially if you get a massive stroke, that stroke was not the first stroke. You would have gotten smaller or mini strokes before, but the possibility greatly exists that you may not have been able to identify that that is what you would have gotten. Hence the reason why I'm sharing with you the symptomology that an individual will experience in the case of a stroke. And what are the symptomology again? Blurred vision, dizziness, lightheadedness, impaired memory, especially short-term memory. So not long-term memory like where you went to school, when you get married, when you had your first child, not that type of memory. We're speaking about memories like short-term memory, what you went in the cupboard for, where you put down your keys. You might be going to have a discussion with someone and you forget what the discussion is about. Not being able to recognize faces. Because what you find with an individual who has problems associated with poor circulation to the brain, that is where persons start to experience things like vascular dementia. What do you think vascular dementia is? Vascular dementia is where the vessels in the blood vessels, the vascular aspect, sorry, of the blood vessels in the brain are not getting sufficient blood and sufficient oxygen. And as a result of that, you are diagnosed with having vascular dementia. So what I want you to understand, even with Parkinson's, strokes, and all those diseases are diseases that affect which system? They affect the central nervous system. So your central nervous system primarily comprises of what? Your nerves and your circulatory system. So, as I said before, if you're not getting sufficient blood flow to the brain, and this is a problem that a lot of persons experience. So, look at the symptomology that I'm explaining and find out or examine yourself and see if you experience these things: dizziness, lightheadedness, interference with short term memory, cognitive function. So your ability to reason, your ability to determine time and place. That's why persons who have dementia, they have a problem with time and place. Even people who have Alzheimer's. Remember, persons who are diagnosed with Alzheimer's, who have Alzheimer's, is when those said blood vessels in the brain begin to get what is known as atherosclerosis, where the blood vessels begin to harden. So they're not as pliable and they do not allow proper circulation to the brain as they should. If you have high blood pressure, that is also an indication of poor pulmonary circulation. If you have glaucoma, what is glaucoma? Glaucoma is high ocular pressure in the eyes. So the ocular pressure in human eyes supposed to be anywhere in the vicinity of about 10 to 15. Those are safe numbers. So 10 to 15. If you have poor cerebral blood circulation, you're going to experience high levels of ocular pressure. So you're going to find, as opposed to having 15, you could now have 20, 25. And the higher the ocular pressure in the eyes, the easier it is to end up with damage to the eyes. You could end up with things like macular degeneration. You could end up with things with actually bleeding behind the eyes, which is detached retina. That is also a symptomology associated with poor blood vessel or poor cerebral blood vessel circulation. Very, very important. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook, and on Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. Mr. Boris, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There you have it. I mean, I have never heard it explained so concise, precise, yes,
Yeah.
without rice. Just explain.
Without rice.
Straight. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
As the case to be. So, Dr. Batson, we want to thank you very much. The
Thank you, sir.
information, the knowledge you bring to our nation is second to none.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I hope people call those numbers on the screen. I'm seeing one, I know the other one's there. 222-8261. And of course, the other number, 314-9975. Call those numbers. Take it down. Call them tomorrow, Monday. Call them as the case may be and make your appointment. Take care of your health because your health is your wealth. Dr. Batson, we thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Excellent indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. As we bring the program to a close today, we want to thank you ever so much for being part of this program. Tomorrow, we have a big program lined up for you. Remember, I've been talking for years that this country can be the first homeless-free country in the world. And people take it for granted. This country can be that country.
Good. Okay, guys. So you saw that was the program that we actually did. Ms. Sherry Jack said, I'm calling to make my appointment for Friday. No problem. So let me say a pleasant good afternoon to some of you guys who are on our lives this evening. Miss Kathleen Ishmael, always a pleasure to have you. Miss Marge Hills, Miss Elizabeth Nanlal, my dear, always a pleasure to have you. I hope you continue to get good results with that situation that you're working on as regards to the cartilage. Miss Sherry Jack, always a pleasure. She said, happy Sunday evening, Dr. Batson. My prayers goes out to the Bago, all of us. Miss Nicola Hurd, blessings to you. Miss Sherry Jack, well, I'm looking forward to that appointment, my dear. Miss Denise Hurst, pleasant good afternoon to you as well. So remember that program that we had earlier today. We were joined with some health advocates, people like Dr. Big Mike, as I call him, which is Michael Dickerson. We had Miss Gloria Charles with us as well. And that is, of course, for the event that I am also collaborating with for a great product. You know, I'm a huge advocate of a healthy body, a healthy mind, especially a healthy spirit, because you have a spiritual body as well. You know, and these are some of the things that we actually do at Batson Associates. The thing is, I know St. James, Miss Jack, I'll be in St. James Saturday, because I actually would be in Tobago on the Friday. So those of you in Tobago, we had Miss one of our consultants who were there. She did an excellent job. She did some blood analysis. She did some scans. And of course, I will be in Tobago this week here. So you can always call the Tobago office. That number for Tobago again is 226-4553. That's 226-4553, where we are actually going to be there. I will be there for my consultations next week. So you can always call Latoya, call the office, Batson and Associates, and get the necessary information. Keep in mind too as well, we have some giveaways as regards to the Father's Day giveaway. So and some number of things. We're going to take a pause for that, and that is going to be tonight. So what we're going to do, because Shakil and I have been working non-stop for the day, so of course we're going to have that live this evening, and that's going to be this evening at 8. So we're going to have it for 8 p.m. That is a question and answer, and we will go from 8 to 9. So that's just going to be 1 hour, and we're going to highlight, we have a giveaway with our Father's Day promotion. We have some announcements as regards to that event that is going to be taking place at the Radisson. That is taking place, God's willing, Saturday the 13th at the Radisson Hotel in Trinidad there on Rice Road. I'm going to get your times, and you're going to also have some more information as regards to that. As regards to, someone was asking something about products. Miss Jack, yes, Saturday is the day when I would have my open clinic day uh, in St. James, God's willing, so you could take advantage of that. Someone is asking, hi, good day, you have CMOS in the St. James office? No, we do not have any CMOS at the moment. We're actually working assiduously on that. We have some things that we have expected. So I know everything will be cleared up by this week here. So I believe by this week we should have. You can always take that number for St. James, which is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And you could get that information regarding the CMOS. All those products and services are available at Batson and Associates. Remember, live tonight, that is taking place at 8 p.m. We go from 8 p.m. to 9. God's willing. As we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless, guys, and you do enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I saw some individuals joining us. So as I said, we're going to have a question and answer live, and that's going to be tonight from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So those of you who, we just did this live because I joined Synergy for like about 15 minutes. They asked me to do a program on health, and I did a program on stroke, poor pulmonary circulation. So that is what you just joined there. So that was a very short one. But as I said, tonight, God's willing, we have that program, which is going to be from 8 to 9 p.m. And also earlier today, we did that collaborated event as regards to discussing that event that is going to be taking place on Saturday, the 13th of July at the Radisson. So you can look out for that. We're going to post the information. You could call Batson and Associates for your tickets, and we will ensure that we get those to you. So remember, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Take care, guys. God bless, and do enjoy the rest of your Sunday. See you guys tonight, 8 p.m. Take care.